Hey everybody, CW here, Card Wolf, because I'm always on the hunt for great cards. Today is Friday, and you know what that means. Here on the channel, it is time for Dorking with Dice. That's right, we roll this big pink D20, and it tells us which of the 20 vintage packs in our Dorking box we get to open today. It is a mix of hockey and football. So those are the sports that are happening right now that I'm most excited about, and so that's what we're going to be opening today. Yesterday I did not post a video because it just did not work out. My son was home sick, and so I was taking care of him all day and also trying to juggle work and some other stuff. And so finding the time to do a video, it was not there. So I apologize for that, and appreciate you guys bearing with me during that. My son feels a lot better today, so he is at first grade where he belongs, though it was delayed by a couple of hours because we got about 6 or 7 inches of snow last night. They were calling for like 2 inches, so it was a little bit of a surprise waking up to that. And I've been out shoveling the driveway most of the morning, and it is now cleared. So that is good, and I feel all buff, and I feel like I'm ready for the next pack battle. Next week, Average Joe and I will be back to pack battles, I think. Joe is still feeling pretty under the weather, so I'm giving Joe a shout out today and some well wishes. I hope Joe is recovering and starting to get his strength back. And I wanted to follow up on these great vintage cards. These are again Mecha double folder cards. I picked these up a couple of weeks ago and opened them Wednesday on the channel, and kind of geeked out about them. And several of you left some really wonderful comments. A number of you had other things to add about these. Some of you had questions about them. And so I wanted to just spend a few minutes very quickly talking about some of the things you guys brought up today. One of them was about Home Run Baker. I had said he is on the back of this Eddie Collins card, and I'll bring that up so you can see the focus there and see him. Frank Baker got the nickname Home Run Baker, and I told you on Wednesday that was because he hit some clutch home runs, and that is true. And I mentioned that his actual lifetime home run total was not huge. It was just over 100, actually just under 100. He hit 96 home runs lifetime. I looked it up, and you got the nickname, but 96, is a lot of home runs in the dead ball era. That was actually a ton of home runs for the dead ball era. He was really one of the best home run hitters of that era, and he got that nickname for hitting so many, and also for hitting clutch home runs. I think it was trying to remember, I think it was the 1913 World Series. He hit several clutch home runs, including it was either a game winner or a game tire off a game tying home run off of I think it was Christy Mathewson, who's one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And so that's how he got his nickname, even though he hit less than 100 home runs in his career. That was a lot of home runs for the dead ball era. A couple of you asked about that. What was the dead ball era? What do I mean by that? It was a period from about 1900 to 1920, and the ball was just not very lively at all. It was kind of soft, and there were several, aside from it being soft, there were several other contributing factors to why people call it that. The ball did not travel very well. It did not have the kind of bounce that today's balls have. They were constructed differently. As I said, they were softer, and I remember my grandfather telling me this too, that back in those days they would use baseballs basically until they fell apart. Today, if there's any kind of scuff or any little, anything on a baseball, they'll take it out of the game. They won't use it anymore. But back then, they would keep using it. And the other thing is that pitchers, there was nothing illegal. Pitchers could use a spitball. They could cut the ball. They could mark it, scuff it. They could do whatever they wanted, and none of that was illegal. So balls did not get pitched in the same way that they get pitched today. They would behave very strangely and do kinds of the weird things that balls that have been doctored in that way do. And while I'm talking about that, also R.I.P. to Gaylord Perry, who was one of the greatest spitball pitchers of all time, just passed away earlier this week. Just found out about it yesterday. Was never a huge Gaylord Perry fan, but he certainly held a significant place in baseball, not just for his 300 plus wins or that, but because he really was one of the last just true spitball pitchers. Everybody knew that he doctored the balls, and nobody really did much about it, and he just that was his way of doing things. So he is in the Hall of Fame, and had a lot of great years, threw a ton of complete games. You look back at Gaylord Perry's record and all the complete games that guy threw. That, to me, is the most significant thing about his accomplishments. He threw so many complete games, a lot of complete games. Then you'll never see pitchers like that again, throwing those kind of games. Saw Fergie Jenkins interviewed, in fact, last night on the MLB channel about his friend Gaylord Perry, and that was the main thing that Jenkins himself threw a ton of complete games. Always was a big Fergie Jenkins fan, so it was nice to see him. I'm geeking out again about baseball history, so I apologize for that. One of the other questions that people had, I mentioned that both Eddie Collins and Frank Baker were part of Connie Mack's $100,000 infield, and that team, the Philadelphia Americans, won the World Series 4 times in 5 years during that period. Other people were, who else was in that infield? Were they other famous players? At shortstop was a guy named Jack Barry, and he is in the Hall of Fame, though only recently Jack Barry was put in the Hall of Fame by, I think it was the Veterans Committee or something, like within the last 20 years or so, I think Jack Barry. And I really don't know that much about Jack Barry. He was a shortstop. He also played second base, and I know he went on to be a manager as well, and that he was a really good fielder. That's really all I know about Jack Barry. He was the shortstop in that infield. And then the first baseman was a guy who I do know a little bit about. He was named Stuffy McGinnis. His nickname was Stuffy, which is awesome. Nobody has that nickname anymore. I'm trying to think, would I want that nickname, Stuffy? No, I don't think I would. I think if you had that nickname now, it would make you seem like you were a glutton or something, like you were always like eating or something, or you like stuffing. Maybe I do like stuffing. That's true. Maybe I should have that nickname. I don't know. I have to think about that. Anyway, Stuffy McGinnis got that nickname because back in those days, an expression that we would all use was, "Hey, you got the stuff, kid," or "Johnny, that's the stuff." His first name was John. I'm actually not making that up. And so he got told that so much when he was coming up as a young person playing baseball, just in the local leagues, that all the other players just started calling him Stuffy because everybody told him so often, "That's the stuff, Johnny." So that's how he got his nickname. It wasn't because he ate a lot or whatever. Anyway, Stuffy McGinnis was a really good player. He, I think he hit over 300 more than 10 times, more than in his career, more than most other players. Again, this was a dead ball era, so you hit over 300, you're doing really, really well. And Stuffy McGinnis did that many, many times. And I think he has over, I can't remember. I think it's either he has over 2,500 or 2,400 hits. He has a lot of hits. He was a really good player. And one thing I know about Stuffy McGinnis that I've always remembered about him is after he retired from playing, he went on to manage, and one of the teams he managed was a minor league team called the Salem Witches, which is an awesome name for a minor league team. I don't think they exist anymore, but what a great name for a minor league team. And Stuffy McGinnis was their manager for a little while. So anyway, that's what I know about the rest of Connie Mack's $100,000 infield, and I just wanted to follow up with that. Also wanted to say another contributing factor to the dead ball era, and this was brought to my attention by Michael Schaffer, who is a longtime subscriber to the channel. He left a wonderful comment on that video, and Mike reminded me how big ballparks were back then. Ballparks were huge back then. You look at the Polo Grounds, I think it was over 450 feet to center field. And that was very common for most of the ballparks back then. So to hit a home run, you're hitting a softer ball. Pitchers are doctoring up the ball, doing all kinds of stuff. Another thing my grandfather used to tell me that pitchers and catchers used to do is a lot of them chewed tobacco. That was very common in baseball, for a long time. And I guess still is. Players still do that, but a lot of players did it back then. And so catchers and pitchers would actually spit tobacco juice on the ball to make it darker, so it would be harder for batters to pick up. And that was legal. You wouldn't get in trouble for doing that. I remember my grandfather telling me about that and how he used to hear from players in the newspaper how they would, they'd openly accuse pitchers of doing that. Yeah, well, I wouldn't have struck out if he hadn't been spitting juice on the ball all day, that kind of thing. All right, I've talked enough about vintage baseball. I could go on, as you guys know, I could go on for hours and hours about that, and I'm going to stop. Anyway, this is Dorking with Dice. You know how it works. We got 3 really great packs in here and many other quite interesting packs. The pack in the number 1 slot is the one that's been there since early September. It is now December, so it's been there for quite a while. It is the 1984 football pack. Lots of great rookies can come out of this pack, including Dan Marino rookie, John Elway rookie, Eric Dickerson rookie, and many others. It's a really good pack, one of the best football packs of the 80s or 90s for that matter. In the number 10 spot, I put in a pack that I'd never opened on the channel before. I was excited to get this one out of the card closet. It is 1995 Fleer Flair, and that is a cool football pack. These cards are really pretty, and there are several inserts that you can get out of here. Very nice cards. That's in the number 10 spot. And in the number, we had a really big pack in the number 1 spot, and it's football. So I felt like I needed a really big pack to be in this spot, in the number 20 spot. And so what I got was, this 1983 hockey pack. This is one of my favorite hockey sets. I can tell you exactly where I bought this pack and when it was. I was in Canada during the summer. Hockey season was over, and I happened to be up Niagara Falls, and I went up into Ontario, and I went to a convenience store, and the shop owner had, probably 5 or 6 of these packs in an almost empty box on the counter. And so I took them all out and I put them on the counter. I said, yeah, I'll take all of these. And you can see, it was 25 cents. So I was not exactly, busting the bank open to get these. And the guy, started to ring me up, and he said, I've got more of those if you want them. I said, oh yeah, I'd love to get more of them. Yeah, I looked under the counter, he rummaged around for a minute, and he pulled out a full box. And he said, how many do you want? And I said, I'll take the whole box. And so I could not restrain myself. I was still living in Baltimore then. I took the box home after I came back from that trip and opened the whole box. And it's become one of my very favorite. I don't think I ever opened the loose packs, though, and I think this is one of those loose packs that I saw all those years ago when I was up in Canada. So I decided, I've saved it for such a long time, and I have a couple others, but I decided, might as well open one of these, put this in the box. So it's in the number 20 spot. Very excited to get into that. It's become one of my favorite hockey sets. I don't think that it's a particularly attractive set. It's a very basic design with some colorful stripes at the top, but has a ton of Hall of Famers in there. Lots of great Oilers from that era. I think it has. It just has a lot of great cards in there. I don't even remember what rookies are in there, but it has some early cards of some really good guys. I think Dale Harchuk has a rookie in there, and maybe Ron Francis. Trying to remember. I think those are the 2 big rookies, I think. Well, let's roll it up and see what we get. I've been a ton of talking, and let's open some packs, and we get it. Man, I cannot believe that. That is awesome. I cannot believe that. First out of the gate, we get number 20, and we actually get to get into this awesome, awesome pack. That is so amazing. 1983 pack of OPG hockey. The other great thing about this is Topps did not do, it'd be great if I could get it in focus. That would be a really great thing. How about that? Topps did not do hockey that year. There were a couple years in there that Topps did not do hockey. You could only get hockey cards OPG, and so in the U.S., we just didn't get hockey cards. That was the thing that made it so exciting to find them, is that there were no hockey cards because Topps didn't do them. So down in the U.S., we just didn't get them. I probably could have, gone to a card shop or something, or asked, a retailer or something, they could special order them, and maybe there was a way they could get them. But I hadn't seen hockey in any of the stores here, so when I found them up there, I was really, really excited, which is why I didn't hesitate to buy that whole box, and why I was excited to, get back home and just tear through the whole box and open that up. This is thrilling, though. I can't believe that was the one right off the gate. I thought it would sit in the box and I'd never get to open it. So this is really very, very exciting. Man, this is awesome. So let's see. Let's get that open and get in here. And hopefully the gum has not had a lot of bleed through. It is stuck to, it's stuck to Ray Bork as well. That is a shame. Man, I don't think that gum's going to come off either. Maybe it will. I don't know. I'd like to get that off of there. Yeah, it did come off. Not bad at all, actually. That doesn't even look to have impacted the card. This gum is it's gonna just chipped a little bit off there, man. I could use that to, I don't know, do some spackling or scrape some stuff off. But yeah, that didn't even affect the Ray Bork card. So we have that waiting for us as the last card. First card is a Buffalo Sabres card. John Van Boxmeer, great Sabres player of old. That is a sweet in-action card. Very happy to get that one. Tony McKegney, another nice Sabres card. How about that? Man, that is great. I know several of you are Sabres fans, so that should be pretty exciting to you. And Paul Coffey, man, this is a hot pack. This is nice. In-action card of Paul Coffey. That's an early Coffey card. That is really sweet. Very nice. Man, all of these are going into, it doesn't matter who I pull from here, all of these are going into the PC, so I'm not even going to wolf layer any of these. They're all going in there. Wayne Cashman from the Bruins. This is awesome. I haven't opened one of these probably since that summer. Quite honestly, it's been that long, almost 40 years now. Perry Turnbull from the Blues. Willie Plett from the North Stars. Shout out to Julie Farnham. And Reijo Riosalainen from the Rangers. Dave Lumley, another Oilers player, not an Oilers player that I'm excited to see, but it is another Oilers player. We got Bob McGill from the Leafs. Shout out to Leafs fan down under. Paul Woods from Detroit. Brian Propp, good player for the Flyers for many years. Nice left wing there. And there's the Ray Bourque. And really, that gum left no issues on that card. So that's pretty sweet. That's a fairly early Ray Bourque card. I think that's third or fourth year Ray Bourque. So very nice card there. And as I showed you the back of these, so you know what those look like. And as I said, these are 1983. I guess they're technically 82, 83, but I think of them as 83 cards. So, man, that is super exciting to me that we got to open that. I'll put Bourque on top. He's probably, I don't know, either that or Paul Coffey. I guess I like the Paul Coffey one a little bit better because it's a nice in-action shot. Man, that is sweet that we got to open that. That is really awesome. So, man, that was a huge pack. I'd have to find another huge pack to put in there. We keep opening big packs. Last week we opened 2 big packs on the show. So let's see, maybe we'll get another one. We'll get the 1 or the 10. See if we can roll one of those. Let's see what we get here. Whoa, off the table. Let's grab that again. Here we go. All right, so we got number 1. Oh, man. This is a remarkable, remarkable episode of Dorking with Dice. I can hardly even believe that we are opening the number 1 pack. I thought for sure that was going to just sit in there for the entire season. We would never get to it. This is crazy. I don't even know what to say. Anything else we roll after this is going to be a major letdown. I don't even know if I'm going to roll another pack after this. This is totally crazy. All right, let's get into this one. This is from a very similar time. That hockey pack was from, I picked it up in the summer of 83, and this football pack was from 1984, so I probably picked this up probably about now in 1984, so that was, 38 years ago, something like that. So pretty sweet. There are a ton of Hall of Famer rookies that you can get out of here. Hopefully we'll pull, one of those. That would be awesome. And hopefully the gum has not bonded itself to the card too badly. So anyway, awesome pack 1984 football. I cannot believe we're opening both of these packs. Definitely did not expect that today. That is pretty remarkable. Unfortunately, I have to rip that a little bit to get it open. That's a shame. But right off the top, we got a nice card. A Pro Bowler card there, safety for the Raiders. Let's see if we can get this gum off of here. Tony Hill on the back. Whoa, this gum is really, really on here. I mean, really on here. That is not coming off. That little piece came off, but this other piece is not. So I'm going to take Tony Hill out for, unfortunately, that card is looks good on the front, but that gum is not coming off of there without a chisel or something. Put Tony Hill over there for now. And we start off with Van McElroy, good safety for the Raiders, as I said. Nice card there. A little wax residue on the front of Van's card, but not too bad. Nice instant replay card of Tony D. Nice Tony Dorsett card there. I like that one. And we got James Lofton. That is an awesome card there. James Lofton, I believe he's in the Hall of Fame. He certainly should be one of the best wide receivers of the era. James Lofton, of course, an announcer now, and a pretty good one. I always like when I catch a James Lofton game. That's pretty cool. We got another instant, 2 James Loftons in a row. That is amazing. We got the All-Pro and we got the instant replay card. That is really cool. Very nice James Lofton double there. Billy Johnson, another Pro Bowl card. Billy White Shoes Johnson, pretty cool card there from the Falcons. He was a wide receiver, kick returner. I think of him more of as a kick returner. He was a really fast guy. Ray Horton from the Bengals, and another instant replay card. This one, a Tony Collins from the Patriots. Pretty nice card there. Got several of those. Frank Lewis from the Bills, good wide receiver for them for several years. Shout out to Bills Mafia cards. And Kellen Winslow, one of the best tight ends to ever play, has another instant replay card. Man, we're pulling some nice Hall of Fame cards out of here. Very sweet pack so far. Jerry Butler, also from the Bills, another wide receiver for them. And behind him, we got to flip this one to see Jeff Bostic. I believe Bostic is a Hall of Famer as well. Center for the Redskins, member of what was called with affection by the Washington fans back then, the Hogs. Again, not a nickname I would want. I'd choose Stuffy before I went with being a member of the Hogs. That's just me, though. And Joe Montana, how about that? These packs are nuts. There's nothing else I'm going to open today. This is all we need to open today. This is crazy. Nice Joe Montana. That's not a rookie, but it is a very nice pack fresh Joe Montana card there. And Dwight Hicks right behind him, another great 49er from the defense. Man, look at that. That is awesome. 2 James Loftons out of this pack. Kellen Winslow, Joe Montana, and Dwight Hicks, among others. This has been a fire pack. This is fantastic. Beautiful Joe Montana card. Very happy about that. Nice Dwight Hicks. Right behind him, another Pro Bowler, Ricky Jackson. Great linebacker for the Saints. Man, what a pack. That is... wow. That did not disappoint at all. I mean, we did not pull one of the big rookies, but, man, we pulled some great cards out of there. I mean, you can't do much better than that. I mean, you pull a rookie, that's about the best you could do, but, wow. Fantastic Joe Montana card out of there. Thrilled with that pack. That is crazy. I'm tempted just to call the show there. I feel like that is really all we need to do. Anything else I open today is not going to rival that. So honestly, I think that's all we're going to do today on the show. I talked for a long time at the top, and then these packs are just, they were fantastic. They were just so much fun for me to open. I hope they were fun for you guys to see as well. Some really great vintage packs. I don't know what I'm going to put in the Dorking box now. Those were really big packs. I don't know if I have anything as great as that to put in there. I'm going to have to dig deep in the card closet for next week. You guys will have to see what comes out. All right, thanks so much for tuning into the channel. Hope you guys have some great weekend plans and that you don't have 7 inches of snow on the ground where you are. And I will see you back here on Monday. As always, happy collecting.